This is Ben Television. My name is Kayode Ogundamisi. It's your program, Politics with KO, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. Thursdays on this channel, Sky 182. Don't miss the debate by Nigerians and friends of Nigeria on issues surrounding Nigeria from around the world. My name is Kayode Ogundamisi.
A very beautiful evening to you. Welcome to the program Politics with KO. My name is Rose Peter Graham. I'm standing in for Kayode Ogundamisi, who is unfortunately can't be here. He has some challenges he needed to take care of. But of course, as you know, your show must go on. It is barely it's over. We are beginning to count hourly to the elections. Is no longer months, it is no longer, weeks or days. In a few hours, Nigerians are going to be making a critical decision, and we are all looking forward to that. The phone lines are going to be opening soon because we're going to be talking about the projections for the 2015 elections. But before then, there's a critical part of the Nigerian economy, which is the railway system. This is a major transportation issue in Nigeria for years now. Even after 16 years of the ruling party, or should I say 16 years of democracy in Nigeria, we are still battling with this part of our transport system in Nigeria. And we need to talk about this, and we have Mr. Rowland Afuguba. He has been living here in the UK, and he has been making huge contribution to the railway system in the UK. And of course, it is obvious that the railway system is working fantastic in back here in the UK, and this is one critical problem we are having in Nigeria. I must say thank you for joining us, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. I want to find out from you, what is the problem with the Nigerian railway system? Is there a problem?
Yes, there is a problem with the Nigerian railway system.
Okay, so what is the problem?
It doesn't work, and it won't work until we adopt a coherent strategy in terms of how we want to deliver the impacts that are required. The Nigerian railway system has a history that was bequeathed to us by the colonial masters many years ago. But since 1964, which was in essence when the indigenous government or people took over the running of the railway system, it has not been able to pay its way. That's the bottom line. And given technological advances that bring us, or if you like, that fast forward to today, the railways are unable to compete with the roads. It's as simple as that. And until they're able to compete and for business with the roads, they won't be able to make the desirable impacts.
You have been to Nigeria to make your contributions.
I continue to make contributions to the railways in Nigeria, yes.
What do you think is the problem? What have you observed that needs to be put in place?
Well, number one, we say a lot of what we need to do, but we never come around to doing them, or when we go around to doing them, we never do them the way we ought to do them, if I may say so. For instance, we have a blueprint, the 25-year vision for the delivery of the railway system. But in terms of how we've gone about implementing that vision, has lacked coherence, and therefore you would find that we are doing a lot of procurement, government is spending a lot of money, but we're not getting the desired results. So a lot of money goes into the railway system, and yet you don't get the outputs or the outcomes that you are desirable.
Talking about a lot of money, we have just projected $12 billion into the railway system. what would you say about that amount?
No, that's still just a drop in the ocean of what we have actually committed to the railways.
So you're saying there should be more?
There should be more, and there has been more. There is more. The $12 billion contract you talk about is just one contract. That's a coastal rail line. There is the modernization contract from Lagos to Kano, which is $8.3 billion. There is rehabilitation that has been going on, which runs into nearly $1 billion. So there's a lot of money that has been committed to the railways. It's whether what we're seeing is commensurate with what we're investing. And I dare say we're not seeing those results.
Has this been put to the government in power? Do they know about it? Because it's been on the social media. We've seen pictures of the train, the rails that this, money that was invested has brought about, and a whole lot of people are not impressed. And of course, a lot of Nigerians travel and they know what the rail systems are like in other countries and the coaches compared to what we have. Are you saying we can't afford such?
No, we have to put things in perspective. When we say we have committed these huge amounts of money, it doesn't actually mean that these monies have been spent, but we're committed to spending them. For instance, the $12 billion coastal rail contract you're talking about is actually just an MOU, an expression of interest, or if you like, a framework agreement that has been entered into with the Chinese government to enable them actually source the money to invest in this project. So it's not done yet, and it hasn't been spent. But we have had some serious commitments to the railways. We've had some serious spending that has been going on in the last 4 to 5 years. And that is the outcomes that you see. And I would say that a lot of what has taken place is impressive. It is something for the government to show off on TV and to impress people that it's committed to the railways. But in terms of strategic impacts, it is really nothing to write home about. It is not what is required. What is required is greater involvement by the private sector, because you need to have a competitive environment. The government has never been good in business. And for the railways to compete against a privately run and operated road sector, you need the private sector running the railways. It's that simple. The government has never been good at running business. And so what it would do is spend a lot of money and run it into the ground.
Okay.
A lot of people will make a lot of money, but the people won't be served.
Well, you're saying the Nigerian government hasn't opened that, opportunity for private investors to come in?
No, not in a serious way. There's a lot of talk about PPPs on the railways, but they're not substantial to the extent that you need operations and maintenance operators. This has been on the table for such a long time. But what I must say, and I think the greatest and significant activity or outcome, what has taken place on the railways in such a very, very long time, is the passage of the railway bill to the National Assembly for consideration. This has been in the works for such a long time, and this is the first fundamental step that we have taken towards reforming and restructuring the railway environment. It's very critical.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, viewers, if you're just joining us, it's Politrix on KO. We're having a special edition today from 8 till 10 p.m. And of course, the lines are open for you to call in and let us find out more about, what we're looking forward to in terms of the elections in few hours. And a number of people have been saying that they've been expecting last-minute surprises. We haven't gotten any, and that is quite impressive because we know this time around, March 28th, this election is going to hold. The phone lines are open so you could call to find out what the problems with the Nigerian Railway. And we've been speaking with Mr. Rowland Afuguba. I hope I'm correct.
Yes, Afuguba.
Afuguba. And he's been talking to us about the challenges the Nigerian Railway Corporation has been facing. Like you said, the colonial masters left us with a functioning railway system. I don't think I ever got on one, but I know I usually see them on the move. And we know that from projections that this part of a nation's transport system would actually develop the economy of the country. Yes. From your own experience, what damages has this done to the Nigerian economy, if any?
Damage, I don't know to what extent you could call it damage, but we also have to understand the origins of the railways, why it was created in the first place. The purpose of the railway system we have in Nigeria was to enable the movement of goods from the hinterland to the ports, mostly agricultural goods, groundnuts, cotton from the north, down to the coast, to the ports in Lagos for export to Europe, cocoa in the west, palm nuts and rubber in the southeast, and so on to Port Harcourt for export. That was the purpose of the railways. And when we took it over, and this is one of the strategic errors we've been committing ever since, is we have now tried to convert that into a passenger railway. It's not designed for passengers, it's designed for freight. And when you think in terms of the volume of goods that are moving on the roads in Nigeria, 99% of freight traffic moves on the roads today in Nigeria.
Yes.
Now, a very significant portion of that could go on the railways. That's what the railways have been designed for. And that would free the roads for passenger traffic. Now, in terms of, and this is in terms of the legacy system, what we've inherited. Now, in building new railways, which is what is also contemplated, we can now start to think about modern railways, the sorts that you're accustomed to in the UK, that is able to compete with the roads for passengers, because they're more comfortable, they're quicker, okay. And therefore can in fact compete. But what we've got in terms of the infrastructure that exists today in Nigeria is only fit for freight. And we should focus more on doing that. If you move, say, about 4 million tons of cargo onto the trains, onto the tracks, what you would do is you would reduce the number of trailers, long distance trailers, yes, reduces wear and tear on the roads and therefore lowers your maintenance costs, reduces accidents, reduces emissions, greenhouse gases, and so on and so forth. Okay. So there are lots of benefits of using it for what it has been designed to do.
Okay, let me take this call. Hello, caller. Thanks for calling. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Yomi. I'm calling from Welling Garden City.
Okay, can you go ahead, please?
All right, I just want to make a little bit of this contribution to Rowland there. I would say I'm a little bit surprised, Rowland. You sound more like a very top end of the professional in terms of the rail network. I'm surprised that you could get involved with this Nigerian government, especially this present administration, what they claim to be a workable train, which is not even fit, for animals, let alone, ferrying people around in some very, very unhumanly conditions, which I see every now and then. I'm in Lagos. People hanging on top of these locomotive trains, which are not acceptable in any part of the world. So I don't know how you get involved with them.
Okay.